It's me, CC Plays, having a go at building a house today in Sims 4. Shocker! No, it's a house that's actually fairly well known. That's up in Keswick in Cumbria, which is known as the Beatrix Potter Cottage, because there's a lot of history behind it. So I thought I'd include the link to what I'm doing in the chat so you can give me guidance if you know how to do these things, or just see what the end vision is. So luckily we've got floor plans for this one, which gives us an idea. But I'm going to just start drawing a rough shape and then I'll start dividing it all out. So, how I always start. Is with the basic front bit, because I can always move it back in two. So it's I'm just trying to check on the description of when it was actually built. It was built, it'd be handy if they actually said this. I'm guessing it's the 1800s, somewhere, maybe 1700s. Doesn't decide to tell you in the information. Let me just have another scroll through. There's lots and lots and lots of information on it, but not the useful bit that I want to know, which is how old it is. Well, there you go. Anyway, let's get on with this. So, we have 7 windows on the front, which are sort of sash style. I don't know if I've got anything remotely like that in my... I'm thinking the closest is going to be this one. But no, they're no good. It's always a thing when I'm trying to do a particular type of build, is getting the windows right, because obviously they're rather important. Let's see if we've got anything remotely like it. And I think we are bang out of luck here. Okay, so the closest we're going to get then. It's probably this style. I think the octopanes. Yeah, that looks quite close actually. I don't know why this is drawn it as... What size are these walls? They've done it as the tall walls. Why have you done it as that? Right. Let's try again. And the walls are going to be actually at a normal sort of height. I think we'll maybe go with the medium walls, because it usually helps for doing stairs later. At least now I won't have to mess around with doing those. It's the joy of building these things. You can always just change the wall width, height. Hey K-Bear's mama, hi Fairy Phoenix, and hey Atber. I have to keep remembering looking at the chat because it's on another screen at the minute. Yeah, so it's got quite a few windows on this. Again, I'm going to have to change the walls to medium height. Although they do look a bit too tall, to be honest. I'll change it back to short, I think. Go back. There we go. So I'll take these windows and do there. And there. And there. just going to move all this bit in because it's way out of scale for what we're building. It might give us an idea of where we can put the door. Grab that. No, don't do that, CC. Grab that bit. There we go. We're all in proportion now. Chosen this one because it's got quite an easy looking roof on it, which is always helpful if you're doing Sims builds. Now to try and find a door, which I think the closest we're going to get is this type of one. It's definitely a white door. Let's see if I can get a better picture of the door. Yeah, it definitely does look like a white door, but it looks like it's got a blue frame around it, which might not necessarily be easily done in The Sims, but we'll give it a go. Let's see what we can do. I don't think we've got anything better in medium door. Actually, we might have this bit at the side here is the swatch tray that's been added into Better Build by Twisted Maxi, and I was trying this out before it was released, and I was really excited that you could actually pick your colours from a swatch tray like this rather than having to go to it and click and cycle through, and it gives you a much easier way to pick the pictures. So if you haven't got that mod and you can get it, get it. Isn't the house over? Yeah, it's because of the history of it. A very famous author wrote very famous books there. I think I'll leave. No, I don't like that door at all. I'm very finicky with these things because it's going to stop me doing the... It's just such a really cute little cottage. I think that one's going to have to be the closest I can get. Yeah. As long as it lines up with that window. It doesn't, so move that one over a little bit. There we go. Okay, what next? Got a nice little arch over the top. So for draw, don't know how far it comes out, but I'm gonna just do it one. So my door's not in a central spot, that's why. If I do it there, it's going to be too wide. If I do it there, it's going to be okay. And then I can just move the door over a little bit so that's central. And then I'll have to move that window as well. There we go. And although this will look a little bit strange, I'm going to put I can take that bit out in a second. And we need to add a little half roof on it. A gabled roof, which we will resize down here because it's a lot easier to put it on the build then without it sticking through anything. Turn it round. We'll move that up here like so. And I'm thinking I'm definitely going to be able to get away with these shorter walls downstairs, I think, as well, but it all looks a bit out of proportion now. Yeah, it will go for short walls. There we go. It's already looking a little bit more cottagey. And now I'm looking at it, that window is actually more off to the side of there. So all that faffing about I was doing, trying to get the door lined up with the window above, is to no use because it's not lined up anyway. But then again, it is. It's got to be. Yeah, it is. I'll ignore myself and I'll move that back there. It's just that little bit. Yeah, I can always bring that down a little bit there. And then it's not quite so stuck in the way. Right, so we've got the rough outside of it done then. What do we do next? Oh yeah, remove this wall, otherwise they'll never be able to get out, will they? There we go. Doesn't that look nice? Of course, it's a very old type of building, so we're going to have a lot of age to it. Let me just bring all this in a bit so it doesn't look quite so odd. Right. Okay, so we've got the outside looking pretty similar. Just choose what patterning we're going to put on the outside. I think we're going to have to go for sort of outdoor stucco type of thing to give it the chance of looking older. One moment, let me choose this. I think this might be... I can't quite tell if it's white or if it's a creamy colour in the advertisement for this property, but I think it just with a bit of cream it gives it a bit of a more aged sort of look. Don't think it's quite the Tudory sort of look, but there's nothing. It just looks plain black, but with some sort of timber work to it. No, it's not that. That's all white as well. Has this got anything remotely? Doesn't look anything remotely like it should do, but I'm going to stick that there just to remind myself that I need to do something with it. And yeah, we can probably do the sort of... Is it like trellis work either side? I don't know if there's going to be anything that's going to be quite suitable here, but we'll have a look. So there are some fences that are taller, but I don't know if there's going to be anything quite like what I want. No, that's not tall enough. Can always move something in there later. That's just, oh gosh, no, not that. Definitely not that. That's way too tall. Heck no. Why's that so tall? I must have a shorter one. They can't do it all that height, surely. Dear. Decisions, decisions. That looks like a shorter one. I wonder if that's going to be better. Nope. That's no good either. I make these noises a lot when... I wonder if that'd actually sort of do it. Sort of gives the same sort of effect as the security fencing. It creates a sort of same sort of effect as the trellis work at the side, but it's not exact, but I don't have exact here. Definitely nothing that I could use instead. Which is a shame, but such is life. Right, so I could probably put a picture of this on the screen while I'm building it somehow, but so you can see what I'm looking at. I wonder if no, I'll have to think about that for another time. Let me have a look at the roof, if there's a good picture of the roof. It does just seem to be a normal sort of gable roof rather than anything majorly fancy. Just wondering if there's a... Yes, it's definitely a gable. That's fine. I found a picture of the side of it, which gives me an idea of what to do. And we'll go up. I can already tell this is going to be absolutely huge compared to what it is, so I'm going to just bring these in a bit. Save on to mess about with it later. Now we'll put a roof on it. This is going to go this way round, as is traditional with this sort of property. I can already tell it's going to make it absolutely ginormous because that's what everything defaults to in The Sims, unfortunately. But if we bring it down quite a lot, it'll be a bit more like it should look. Right. So we've got something looking remotely like it, which is good. I'm looking at this bit now and it's showing that the wall around it is yellow, so I wonder if I can... Don't think I'll be able to just make one bit yellow, to be honest, without it going too far up. It's quite a bright yellow. Not under there. Under here. Will that go all the way up? Ah, no, that's good. Sorry, Beatrix Potter, I can't do the nice blue frame to it, but we've got your white door, and we've got the yellow in the entranceway. Okay. Let me try and get a gauge for how wide the property is going to be going backwards. It looks like it's got sort of single paned windows at the side, or two panes rather than the 12, is it, on the front? So hopefully that'll be a bit easier to find something quite like it, but yeah, I'd say probably about that sort of window is going to be a good one. And then we've got a window around there. It does look like a slightly smaller version of this window, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything. This just gives me a scale of how wide the whole property needs to be. Because at the moment it's looking a bit big. If we can move that window over there. There, that's already looking a bit more normal to how it should anyway. See, that window is completely the wrong place now. I've moved everything, but we're getting the idea now anyway. Must remember to put chimneys on the ends as well. I wonder if I can add those in now. Have I got anything remotely like it? Probably not. It's got the nice little chimney tops to it, but the white might let me put those there. It's as close as I'm going to get it anyway. Let's see if there's anything better. In fact, that might be a better... Yeah, I think that's a better look for it. So get rid of that one. For some reason it always messes up when you're doing chimneys, like, and moving them afterwards, so I'm going to get rid of that and put it back. There's probably some button I need to press to do it, but I don't know what button that is, so I'll not press it. The eaves can come back in. And now we have the chimney suspended in midair. No, that's no good. Yeah. Why does it do that? I think that's as close as we're going to get it. Okay. And there's another one sort of looks to be in the middle, and another one on the opposite end. There. They did love their chimneys because there was no other way to keep warm. Yeah, I'm going to take that one off and put it back on again because it's being silly. It's not quite where I need it to be. Come on. Don't click and let go, and I'll just put it where I want it to be, please. Thank you. That's better. Right. A second while I just have a sip of drink. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very old building. I wonder how old it actually is. I'm going to Google this because it's going to drive me nuts as well. Beatrix Potter house. See if the National Trust give me any more information about it. As maybe people will stop complaining about the house and its weird windows and strange layout because it's bloody old, okay? Right. It's not even that one. Okay, give up on that. No, not giving up on the build. I'm just giving up on trying to find the age of it. Maybe Appa could do that. Come on, Appa, make yourself useful. Right, okay, so we need to zoom out again. Don't know whether to do the inside or just work on the outside on this, because the outside of the property is absolutely stunning anyway where it is. And I'm thinking I should probably have built this in another location, to be perfectly honest. Should have built it in Henford-on-Bagley. That's what we seem to have here. It's a nice little it's like a little fenced area, not fenced area, hedged area outside. But that's far too big. Do you not have a lower one? We can have, no, that height, that height, that height. My gosh, I just sneezed. Luckily, I muted, otherwise I'd have just deafened every person with headphones, because I sneeze very, very loudly. Right, okay. Maybe I'll have a look what's going on inside then. I think I'll start with a floor plan. The floor plan looks a little bit crazy. So inside we have the hallway, which you'd expect coming into the front door. I'm hoping it's an extension type of deal at the back, because it doesn't look the same downstairs as it did upstairs. Okay, let's build some walls in here. So we've got a nice long hallway running sort of almost the full length of this to here. And build there as well. Although you've got the front door, you've got a living room to one side, you've got a lounge to another, and then you've also got this hallway that runs, looks like the back of the original building, but I don't know if they've built onto the back. I've not dared look at that yet. It's going to need to be a bit longer. Trying to use the windows as placements for where the walls for the interior will be. I'm still thinking I've made it way, way, way too big out there. So it's not necessarily going to be to scale at this point. Take that wall out there. This wall seems to go across there because there's a door in it. Why have they done it like that? That's very strange. Suppose it meant something a long time ago, but yeah, definitely means that we've made this way, way, way too big. Which means, while we remember, we're going to have to go up and resize the whole thing upstairs as well. There. This window here looks a lot closer to the wall than I would have imagined from the outside. Somebody remind me to line up all the windows again upstairs. Or they're going to be all over the place. Right. So, I'm going to have a look at the back of the house, aren't I? This is going to be a revelation for me. What have they done at the back? Come on, show me the back of the house, please. There's lots of pictures of the front of the house. Not so many at the back of the house. It definitely does look like there's been some sort of extension built out there. Nope, more ones at the front. Yep, plenty of pictures of the front, thank you. But where's the pictures of the back? Want to know what the back looks like. There we are. Yeah, there seems to be a very strange sort of extension that isn't quite normal looking at the back. But I think it is 2-storey. Looks. Worry about that in a bit, but that we definitely know that's going to need more work. Right. Let's go back to those floor plans. So somewhere in the middle there's going to be a fireplace. It shows it jutting out, so I'm going to guess there's actually a chimney stack. So we draw out from there. Copy that up there. Go up here. It's gonna have to go all the way up to the roof, isn't it? Come on, let me put a ceiling on it. Come on. Don't make me just have to move this. No. Alright, I'll just copy you, or we're going to just dance on the ceiling, aren't we? You're not going to let me put it anywhere but on the roof, are you? You're not going to let me put it there because there's not a ceiling on it. Come on, give me a ceiling. Damn it. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is do a flat square. I'm going to have to go up. Oh yeah, that's why it's not giving me. Duh! I'm a donut. There we go, that's better. I don't think that's how it's supposed to look at all from the style of the rest of the building, but this is what we're getting. Yeah, so that's something I've done. I set up a coffee, buy me a coffee today, which is in the description of my video and on my channel description if anyone feels like they want to donate anything. Obviously, I don't expect it of anything out of anybody, but it'd be lovely if you would. I have lots of packs to buy. I used to beg for yarn, now I just beg for add-ons for The Sims. Okay, so we have the stairs look like they are built in the strange little extension at the back that I keep talking about. There's an even weirder little extension bit at the top that has the toilet, which I assume they tacked on at a later date because they don't normally have. They never used to have toilets indoors back in the olden days, as I say. So yeah, we've got a chimney space. We've got just trying to get my head around this. Right. There's going to be a bit that comes out at the back where the stairs are going to go. Looks to be about as wide as the hallway, but a bit wider. This is all going to look very weird for a minute, but that's how I'm planning it out. They've got a downstairs toilet. I bet that used to be in an outhouse back in the olden days. And there's a pantry. Which is going to be there. Don't know why you'd have the pantry off. And if I was redesigning the interior of this house, I'd make things a little bit different. I think I maybe need to bring it out a little bit further, to be honest. Yeah. Because we need to do another bit of the weird extension, which is going to be a bit narrower, I think, than the other. But it needs to line up with that wall there, I think. Or is it? No. Take that one out. This pantry bit lines up with that wall as well. Bring all this in a bit more. Because I think the problem is I've made this whole front bit too narrow. Or too wide, rather. So that's going to throw the rest of the... I'm going to have to redo my roof again. Move those chimney pots again. Move everything again. Right. So we move... that, and move that as well. No, not that's too far. $1,600, say, yeah. It'll be hundreds of years old, so it's very lucky that there's toilets indoors at all. But obviously they're going to have been added on in probably the 20th century, the century when I was born. That makes me feel really old. Well, I am, but you know what I mean. Okay. So that means this wall can come in a bit more. Which means upstairs needs to come in a bit more. Worry about all the windows again later, but just for now, move them to roughly the right places. And then go back downstairs and we'll worry about the roof later. Okay, so we've got the downstairs roughly. I still think this is going to all have to come in, to be honest. I'm going to curse myself later when I have to redo all this, but because guess what? I'm going to have to do the upstairs again. And when I move this, I'm going to end up with a chimney suspended in mid-air because I've got move objects on. I mean, I could have, planned all this out in advance and come across as, an expert builder and that, but who's got time for that? When you picked what I was going to build about half an hour ago. No planning involved. See, we'll move this roof in now. And now look, we've got a chimney stack suspended in mid-air. There we are. Probably a bit more scale. This house is going to end up like the size of a dollar bill at this point, but we've got to get it right. Right. Stop faffing about. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got by way of images of the inside. Okay, the kitchen looks to be quite compact in a corner, to be honest. I'm just trying to get my head around the exact layout of it. Where on earth is it? I know where it is in the house because I've got the floor plan, but it doesn't seem to make that much sense. Just trying to work out where all the windows and things are to get the orientation, because they've done it as a kitchen dining room, which is sort of like quite traditional how they were back in those days. They'd have everything in the one room. People would do a lot of things in the kitchens because it was their main source of heat, I suppose, for cooking, etc. Definitely looks like those windows are a lot closer on that diagram than they are in the actual pictures of the house. So, just trying to get my head around where everything goes. Because they've done it with one of those silly wide-angle camera lenses on it as well to make it look even more strange. Because what it seems to show is that there's a old style fireplace in the middle. A sort of proper range type one. It seems to sort of be built into an alcove, so we can do an alcove. We can probably build this here like so. Just gives us an idea. The only way I can think of doing this is because we've got, what height walls have we got on? We've got the small, haven't we? Thinking maybe we could put a doorway in that would represent what it was. Actually looks quite close to it actually. Yeah, we'll do that. A doorway. It's not exactly how it was. If we go into the living room type. This looks sort of like the style that they had there. It's gonna mess around with me. Just checking it's not put it through the wall, because it sometimes does things like that when when you're doing this game. They've got what looks to be sort of a light green kitchen cabinets, so we'll go with something of that style. Place those here. No, we want the inner corner. Give me the inner corner, thank you. We want a regular one here. And then they've got what looks like a fridge freezer type thing, but it's a single door type. It looks silver and it looks completely out of place for the the style of the property. But this is going to have to be there, I think. And then we have a large table with ladder back chairs. In the middle of the room. This is always the fun part of trying to get something similar-ish in size and scale to what they've got. That looks kind of like it, I think. That's definitely more over this way. We need dining chairs. Okay. I think these are the closest ones we're going to get. Colour. Similar. they've got 8 seats in the kitchen. Nice and cosy. Okay, just have a drink. 1 moment, please. I need to go back to the kitchen, go to cabinets. And these cabinets are nothing remotely like what they are in the house, but that's no surprise. This is The Sims. Nice corner one. No, not half tile, we want that one. And they have a big silver bin, which we have nothing remotely like the bin, but I guess one of these will have to do. Most of these look like they belong outside, to be honest, but strange because it's something I always forget in my builds, and then wonder why my Sims are walking around fuming because there's nappies everywhere. But such is life. I do seem to have some sort of dresser on this wall, or can't see what it is. It's definitely an old style auger in that alcove rather than a cooker, that style of cooker. Don't think they have anything like a double one. Yeah, I think that one's going to have to do instead. Use this one. It at least looks like they could cook with it. And somewhere in the middle of this work surface they've got a sink as well. We'll put there. They've got the basics now. They've got somewhere to cook. They've got somewhere to... Oh, hang on a minute. That looks a bit different there, actually. I'm not thinking they possibly put in a dishwasher, maybe? These windows are just not the right to scale at all. I'll have to change those later if I can find something better. Need to move all these out here. Move it all over a bit. So it looks like they've got a little end piece. Goes there. I think there was a freestanding one. That needs to go on a unit, I guess. Okay, maybe not then. I just want one that's freestanding, not a built-in. Right, that's gonna have to go there. And yeah, I know that's merged into the thing, but I'll sort that out again. And then you can see that the cupboards come around the corner, the cabinets. And they've got a lot of their clutter. Not liking that. I can't live with that. I will have to do another of those. Even though it's going to look bad, at least it won't look as disgusting as that does. Right. So you put that in there. There we go. They've got a dishwasher. It's twice the width of the one that they've got in the actual house. So they should be pleased with it, yeah? Definitely going to have to move that. Okay, lights. Good spot up there. I've not done any, have I? We seem to have a nice selection of spotlights coming down on something. It's just got 4 on it. Typical of the ones I can see here. I've got 3 on them. Is the one with 4? I think we're going to get this. Not liking that. Must be something that would do it better. They look like spotlights, but there's 3 or 4. So I think it's going to have to be. That just points in the one direction, though. You won't want that in the kitchen because you won't be able to see on the other side of the room. Yeah. I think that's going to have to be the sort of one because that's giving good light in the kitchen. Yeah. Maybe we can steal a bit of this. Otherwise everything looks really cramped up in that end. Which means we can move the window out a little bit. Yes, CC needs to do the windows upstairs again. It looks like it's done in that wonderful British colour of magnolia, but maybe it's a bit more creamy. Paint something that looks vaguely creamy, or we're going to be. That's going to be. That might do it. Yeah, that's close enough. I think they've done inside here as well with it. And they appear to have a really beautiful stone floor in the kitchen, which I'd absolutely kill for, to be honest. Kill in Minecraft YouTube, not in the literal sense. Something that looks tiled. I want something that looks a bit more. natural stone rather than tiles, because it's, I think that might be the closest we'll get. Alright, okay, let's try this. And go for a rug, go to the living room. Find something that looks, can't quite make out what that type of rug is it? Definitely an old type one. Similar sort of style, not quite the right sort of shades there. Quite the right size either. Got all these, they're just all plain, bland, boring, stripy things. This one's quite pretty, so thinking that's possibly the closest we're gonna get. Yeah, that'll do. Bring that a bit this way, and that a bit that way. The problem is you're never gonna quite get things to scale because you've got the limitations of what's available in the Sims, so just show something on that wall. There's a chair in the corner. Oh, I can see a chair in the corner. Let's find a nice little living chair. Sort of. I'm gonna go for that in the corner. That looks similar to what they've got. Quite weird why you'd want to sit next to the bin, but yeah. Okay, some sort of curtains. These windows look totally different inside than they do outside. Yeah. Same for that side. Come on. Get in the slot. Come on. They always just want to snap to the actual window, so see, I've zoomed in now and I'm stuck. Come on. Right. Get the window. No, let go of the window. Thank you. Right, we'll move the window down here. We'll move the curtain where we want it to be height-wise. And then we'll put the window back. Otherwise it just snaps to the window, which isn't what you want it to do, really. So it looks like we need some sort of dressery type thing, but I can't quite make out what type of dresser it is because I can't see that. All I can see is it's got a bowl of fruit on it, a few bits and bobs, so I'm going to put That might do, but I'm thinking it's going to be something more traditional furniture rather than modern looking. So there we have the kitchen done, but we can't get in or out of it in a minute because we don't have a door. I need to find a picture of what the doors look like. Are they all like that? Seriously? Okay. They're sort of like a brown plank door. That's one picture I've seen anyway. Are they all like that? Come on. Oh no, there's a window door for the bathroom. Why would you want a window door on your bathroom? What the heck? Who'd put a window door on a bathroom? I don't get it. Why would you do that? Right, okay, so the doors are definitely kind of panelly, I think. No, there's going to be nothing that looks remotely like it. Oh. So I'll just have to go for a generic brown wooden door, I think. Which it calls it the door of dinge, which isn't really what you want. It's not ideal, is it? Let's have a sip of my drink for a moment. Just trying to work out what's going on in this house. I don't quite know where any of the doors are to go into the other rooms, or quite how people live in here. Looks almost like a desk, you know, the old traditional kind of bureau type desks that they've got in the living room. Sorry, the kitchen, not the living room. So we'll go for, I think, the all-purpose type desk here. Don't have a chair to sit at it with, but it looks quite close to what they've got there, so yeah, that'll do. Also shows they've got a plant hanging down as well. And we have a similar plant to go here. Yeah. That looks alright, doesn't it? You couldn't close the curtains, but I'm sure they have problems in the real house. So, which room is next? We have the... Oh, this picture. No, I can't do that because I can't get a small enough door. I'll have to go into this other... See, it's not very well laid out on the order that you click through on this, unfortunately. So I'm clicking right on the kitchen and I'm now going through all the bathrooms and bedrooms upstairs. And no, now we're into a map of the Lake District. Come on, I want pictures of the rooms, please. Okay, I found a pool table. Okay, so this looks like it's one of the living rooms. I just don't know which one it is. And that's a little bit troubling. That's why don't they? Okay, so that's the front door, and we've got a long hall rug, which is helpful. And they've got wooden flooring there, as you'd expect. So I can't quite work out whether that is stone floor. Is that where they've got the snooker table? Hang on a minute. Snooker table, pool table, I don't know. I do believe it is. So this room is incredibly wide for what it should be, I think. But let me have a look. I think I might have a pool table. Or do I have snooker? I have no idea. No, we don't have anything for snooker. Right, objects by functions, activities and skills. Well, I would think it'd be under here if we had a pool table, but we haven't, so. What do we do now? Why have they not put in a pool table? Oh, that seems strange. Do Sims not play pool tables? I have to put in Dragon Pong instead, because that's just giving you something of the type of thing it's got in that room. So it's obviously a games room, and then they've also got an old style, looks like an old organ type thing on one side as well. They've got some very strange ideas. They go with the same dingy type of curtains again. There also seems to be another fireplace built in too. If I can bring that in a bit. And bring that in a bit. That makes that room more to scale, I think. No, I don't know why I did that. Spare me 1 second. Allergies make my eyes itch. Often does this when I'm staring at a screen for a while. Yeah, I think that's going to be the closest I'm going to get for that. There does seem to be a weird little bookcase built into an arch, which we have a way around of doing that. We can build a wall here, and then we can add in a rounded archway like so. And then we can put a bookcase behind it. We'll never get anything remotely like what they've got in there because it seems to be a built-in thing, but it's just one of the little tricks you can do. You can put your bookcase there. Apparently, the Sims will still be able to go and collect a book, even though you've cheated and you've built a fireplace, a a doorway, a fake wall sort of thing. But now we just got to work out how we put in a small fireplace, because all their fireplaces that they have in this don't fit flush into a wall. They're all like ones with mantelpiece, which isn't ideal for a house of this sort of age. If I could put one of those. No, because that's too big. Can I? I've got to move objects on, because I should be able to sink that in a bit. It's not going in. You see, it'll. No, well. It'll go into the wall like that, but it won't go backwards. Why aren't you going backwards? Go backwards. Ah, right. Okay, that idea is not going to work then. I'd have to take this wall out, put the fire in, getting sort of idea, but then of course we've got the problem that the fireplace is in the brick it in. Could we make a door? So all these ones are too big. They're just, and the closest I've got is the one they used in the kitchen as well. I don't know whether it would work or we'd just burn the house down if the sim tried to use it. Let's do it white so it sort of blends in a bit more with the wall. And then we'll just copy the colour off this wall because it looks similar. Similar colour. Now, piano. That looks sort of a similar idea to the style of what they've got. It's nothing like what they've got, but and they've got another strange cupboard alcove in the corner as well. So we can't build into the walls like they do in there. I wonder if there's an old... It's showing sort of like a rounded bookcase. It's sort of like arch shaped, but it's smaller than the one on the other side. I wonder if... Suppose we could cheat and do the bury it in the wall job again. Why not? We don't need as bigger place to hide this one as we did with the other. So I think we'll just put that sort of on there. We have to just pretend that this wall is flatter and blah de blah. And try and hide No, that's too tall. It's not what we want at all. Something like that. Yeah, that'll probably do it. Shove that in there. Gives you the same sort of idea as the rest of it. And they appear to have the same sort of stone floor as they do in the kitchen, but not to the extent of actually having a rug. So why would you? I suppose you'd have something on your feet when you're playing pool. I think the door to this room is sort of like here again, which means we're going to have to move that door to that. And see what I did with the hidden fireplace in the hall trick here. Ah, cancel. We don't want to. We don't want to move it. Oh, it's coming on quite nicely. But I'm still not liking these windows, so it's really nothing that's closer or... because they've got like 3 panes at the top and these ones are only 2, which makes them a lot narrower. But if I use these ones, they're not transparent, they're frosted. Decisions. Yeah, I can't even put like a narrow one next to a wider one because it's not going to look right. I don't know who to be annoyed at. The people who designed this house or EA. Because everyone gets angry at EA, but I'll not get angry with EA. I'm relatively new to the game, so... no, nothing is remotely... because those are far too big, so no. I'm stuck with this silly small windows. Okay, what room do we do next? The other room is the other sitting room, which appears to be over this side of the hallway, which means this window is going to need to come in a bit. We have a lovely comfy sofa there. I'll probably find nothing that looks remotely like it. It looks very similar pattern to one that I wouldn't say inherited during a house move. We went to see a house that we were going to rent, and the previous property owners asked me did I want this sofa because they didn't have room for it where they were going to be moving to, and it was beautiful. We just ended up with no room for it in our house either, so we ended up having to give it away. And I regret it because it was such a gorgeous... it was a very expensive type of sofa as well. I'm doing a lousy job of describing it because you can't see the picture, but if Appa can describe it in the chat, because Appa can find the picture. It's the one with the TV in the room, and they've got a chessboard on the table. But other than that, I can't really describe it. Just believe me, it was nice. No, that's nothing like it either. I'm going to have to go for something quite similar sort of colour scheme, I think. But it's absolutely nothing remotely like it. So that looks a bit yuck. We need a wooden TV stand to go in the corner now. And again, there's nothing remotely like what I want. No, that's too tall. We don't want that. It's a problem when you're playing this and you're too much of a perfectionist. You want it to look just right, but you're not going to get it in this game, so boo-hoo. I have to go for this style, I think. Pop that there. And then, actually, that... What's this? That's not... Oh no, that's got a strange shaped window. Hold up. Is that front window not like the others? Was that at the back of the property? Was that window at the side? I'm confused now. Am I in the right room? I don't know. There definitely appears to be a fireplace, so it's got to be a downstairs room. No, the doors are different as well. What the heck? Because the window looks recessed, but I don't understand how it can be recessed, because the windows at the front of the house look flush. Yeah, floral print, red flowers, yeah. And it had a little... Yeah. It's the only ones I've got that are sort of... They're too tall if they've got the bit at the bottom. There doesn't seem to be anything that's close enough for me to think, ah, yeah, that one will do, but... Looking coffee tables, if it's something. Yeah, I think that's possibly the closest one. That's going to be the easiest, I think. As long as it'll let me put a TV on that. It's going to have to go back in the corner a bit. I can't sit out like that. You can't go into the corner either. Come on, sit there. Thank you. Of course, you can use the Alt key to move objects a little bit easier. And then we've got a flat panel. Is there a bigger one of that? There is, isn't there? That's too big. Okay, I'll go for this then. And we've got a fireplace. Again, it's on a chimney breast, but doesn't look quite right there, but just going to do this sort of fireplace because it's looks like it's a black one, I think. But it looks more like another one of the recessed ones, and they've got a little, I don't know how you describe it, the little coal fire ones with the little glass door to it. I'm lousy at describing these things. I do apologise. We need a nice little oval mirror to go above the mantelpiece. And there doesn't appear to be one. It's the wrong shape, but it's going to have to be that sort of mirror there, I think. Close enough. We have a lovely little, let me zoom in on that a bit so I can see it better. I do have quite a similar sort of table I can use. It is, when I find it, it's this one. Yeah, keep forgetting my swatches. Sort of, that's a close type of thing. Close enough, isn't it? And of course, all the chessboards are on the table. You can't put a chessboard like there. It's gonna look silly. I mean, yeah. Can I reduce the size of it? Yeah, that'll do. I think I've kind of got away with it. That's as close as I'm going to get it. Zoom out. We need another nice older looking rug, I think. See, I've bought so many packs, I've got so many rugs. That looks fairly close to what we've got there. It's got the rug. But now we need to find a better sofa, because that frankly will not do. What do we have? These are it's not remotely the right colour though. Come on. We will find the perfect sofa. But I think we're just going to have to settle with something that looks almost right. Even if it doesn't look quite right. So we'll just plain. Just wanted something with a bit of the pattern because it just looks a bit dull. Even in the maximalist ones, doesn't seem to be anything that's quite like it, but nah, I think we're gonna have to give up on that one, but there are two of them, so I'll put that there. Maybe move it up a little bit more. And again, they've got the creamy sort of walls, but they've also got a lower panelling type of effect to it, so sure I've seen many times something that's like this, but of course I can't find it now. It's not normally in the style that I do in the builds I do, but it's almost, no, it's not quite. I think that's the closest we're going to actually get to. Kind of, but it's painted rather than. But I don't think I'm going to ever get exactly, and that's kind of the right height, but it's a wallpaper as well. Can I get away with something like that? Yeah, that'll give the right impression, won't it? Yeah, same sort of. But this is the thing that confuses me. That's under paint, but it's obviously not paint. It's a wallpaper. EA, I think you need to explain yourselves. Do it soon. That's even less. And why is something called Bathhouse Blues? Why is there a tile under the paint section? Can anyone answer me that? No, didn't think so. Yeah, I think that's the closest we're going to get, and it's not even remotely close. But at least in this room they have a wooden floor and it's not stone. So that gives me something else to stress about. I have no idea what noise you're on about, OSG. Unless it's a subscribe noise or something. I can't hear what's going on there at the minute. This looks like. No, if you can. Oh, you can. You can. That's how you do it. Or is it new? There must be a way to turn a tile or a plank in a room. And now I know. Isn't that great? Alright, let's grab that here because they look similar sort of style. And they can go there as well. And we have to do a long runner for the hall as well. So let's find that room again. But we clicked the wrong way. Where's the hall? There it is. It's a long red hall runner. Please look. Looks like the closest I'm going to get, but obviously it's not as long as it needs to be. It gives you the general idea of what they've got there. So move that a bit and then I can put a... Just need a black doormat or something like that. No, mess rug there. No, that's wrong. Just want a simple dark doormat. there's nothing that looks quite like what I need. How big's that? Size that down. Yeah, that'll do. And you've got like a long hall table. Carpet but no window. Where's the carpet but no window? It's the hallway. It's a long narrow hallway with a door with the light, if that's what you mean. It's probably not what you mean, but that's glass. That's no good. Got something like that, but it's got cross legs. I don't know which non-movie that is, Lala. But yeah, that's looking not too bad. Quite like that. Just wish I had better angles of all the rooms so I can see the proportions for things better. But we're getting there. I think I'll probably finish this live soon and save this one and do another live tomorrow to get on with building the rest of it. So if you haven't already clicked like, I would be thrilled if you would. My Buy Me a Coffee link is in the description. I think Thick Gemini has posted it as well. Thank you for that. And yeah, I will be back on tomorrow, I think, if not Sunday, and we'll tackle the rest of the rooms downstairs, try and work out how on earth we're going to be putting the stairway in, because I've had a look at the pictures and it's a bendy one and they don't always work out quite well in The Sims, because you have to do it within the restraints of the room that you're building, and for some reason Sims people haven't decided to give us spiral staircases yet, so you don't get much control about where they twist and they turn. But by the by, so if we just go back outside, you can see. Yeah, I do need to keep moving windows. I'm going to have a look tomorrow and see if I can find some better windows. And you see here, this is the back of the fridge freezer, so you move things and that little touch too far and they end up halfway out of the wall, which isn't really ideal for a house, is it? Windows. So there will be a window. Where's the window? What window do you want? There's lots of windows. I don't know how many more windows you want. There's many windows. There's 7 of them just on the front, and there's a window in the door. How many more windows do you want? I don't know. But yeah, they're not the right windows, but I don't think I have anything that's close enough. I mean, I could maybe copy it and paste it over the top, which will make it a bit wider, but then it doesn't look right. So no, I can't. So we'll just say cancel on that and we'll sort it all out. Door window doesn't count. Yeah, but I can't put a window in a room that's enclosed on either side with a door at the end, my love. I can't. I'd love to help you and put a window there, but I can't. That's where there's a window in the door, you see? It lets light into the hall. See? Window, door. I'm messing. Right. Okay, so where are we now? We need to save this before it crashes, because that's never happened on a build before. And I will see you all tomorrow or Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for the ride, it's been surreal. Pixel dreams and neon feels. Game over now, but not for long. CC Plays. Hit that subscribe, it's just one click away. CC Plays. Stay in the game, come back any day. High scores fade, but the fun won't stop. Level up with every drop. Next adventure's just a play away. CC Plays. Hit that subscribe, it's just one click away. CC Plays. Stay in the game, come back any day. Thanks for fate, but the fun won't stop. Level up with every drop. Next adventure's just a play away. CC Plays. Thanks for watching. CC Plays.